Are you working from home 5 days a week? Are you clenching at home at night? Grinding at night? Are you risking cracking your teeth or tooth? Thank you for watching this Joker's episode of Joker's Physiotherapy. Today, I wanted to share with you one single mechanical factor that can contribute to clenching and grinding, which obviously risks cracking your tooth and cause crack syndrome, which is very hard, and it's a nightmare for dentists to identify and diagnose exactly and to treat, because most of the time you don't know how far down into the teeth the crack goes. So you got to just keep drilling until there's no longer a crack. And if it stops in the middle of the tooth, that's great. But if it goes down to the dentine, it's very tricky, because then you're risking touching the nerve, and obviously then you might need a root canal. Then you need a crown. All these, it's not nice, and it's a painful experience. You can't enjoy the food for however long it takes for the tooth to be treated. Anyway, if there is any biggest single mechanical factor that contributes to clenching and grinding habit, it is the posture. So if you're working from home with poor ergonomics, meaning desk setup where the screen is, and the keyboard and the mouse, and how you're sitting or standing to do some computer work, it is very, very important to recognize that clenching, if that's what you're suffering from, or grinding, then it could be that your posture is the biggest single factor. So what about the posture? Now, before we go on to that, just anatomy 101. The jaw is made up of temporal bone and the mandible. Now, so that means 50% of your jaw joint is made up of temporal bone, which is the skull. So 50% of your jaw is made up of skull. That is the head. So the fate of 50% of the fate of the jaw joint function is determined simply by your head position, as in the posture. So if you're looking down, chin poke posture, then obviously your jaw is going to function differently. So when in that forward head posture, your teeth tend to come together, because the mandible come forward and they start to bring your especially back teeth together. Then there is the thing called clenching and grinding, which we all are familiar with. So how do we combat that? Obviously we've got to have a good posture, so be careful of this chin poke posture or looking down. Now, if you use your fingers, index, middle, ring finger, and look for the center of the base of your neck, there is this little bumpy, bony stuff. If you look down, it'll poke out. If you look straight ahead, it should be relatively flat. But if you feel like you're looking straight, but the hump is still quite significant, then you might want to try this. Keep your fingers there on the bump, shoulder blades overly corrected, so you've got to bring your shoulder blades right back, squeeze, and then finally looking straight ahead at your eye height, pull your head back a little bit. And then if you feel with your fingers the bump has reduced relatively flat, not completely flat, you will still have a bony bumpiness, but it's relatively flat, or at least compared to when you were looking down or with your head forward, then you might notice. And it should be the position where your teeth should automatically come apart. In this position, we want to breathe through our nose, so four more things need to be looked at. Tongue on the roof of your mouth, and then teeth apart, obviously, and lips closed, and then breathing through the nose. So if you're not talking and chewing throughout the day, you want to be in a humpless posture every now and then, so make sure your teeth come apart in that position. Tongue on the roof, teeth apart, lips together and breathing through the nose. Now remember, we do in our sleep, because people often report to me, yeah, I grind or clench at night. That's because we sleep in the posture that we are in during the day. So we're on the firm belief what we do during the day is going to reflect in our sleep. Of course, we don't have any control once we fall asleep. So we have to believe what we do during the day is going to reflect positively in this instance, because we're going to change our posture better during the day. So we're going to have less clenching, less humped posture during the day, so we're going to be less humped in our sleep. And hopefully we clench and grind less. So we believe that is the single biggest factor, mechanical factor, that is contributing to clenching and grinding. Obviously, other things such as medications in the form of SSRIs used for depression and anxiety, they have side effects such as clenching and grinding, and that's a different issue. But here we're talking about since the lockdown periods and the work from home became the norm of the day, but it's not well set up at home in terms of ergonomics, the screen position, the type, the keyboard and the mouse, poor desk and chair setup. They all contribute. It's because convenient working from home, but you haven't set up the working environment properly, then it can contribute to clenching and grinding, which can eventuate to cracking of the tooth or teeth, which you just don't want to go there. So, thank you for watching this episode of Joker's Physiotherapy. If you like these videos, please give us a thumbs up and please subscribe so you'll be notified of the future videos related to the jaw and migraine and all the facial or jaw-related conditions. Thank you for watching this episode of Joker's Physiotherapy, and happy rehab. Cheers!